We're about to get underway here. Taking the tip-off is Graham Crowler for Northeast Passage and Dave Gagne for Quebec. And we're underway here. It's day 2 of the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. And that ball is going to roll out of bounds. Let's see which way it's going to go. And it looks like Northeast Passage is going to get the ball. So now the Wildcats trying to work around. And we already have a timeout. Yesterday we saw this Quebec team, their defense was stellar, and a lot of teams had problems getting it over the center line. Again, if you're new to wheelchair rugby, you have 12 seconds from the time the ball is put in play to get the ball over the center line. So now Northeast Passage setting up once again. Adam Ellis trying to move down the floor. And he passes across, and it's taken away by Dave Gagne. Again, there's that Quebec defense. And now Patrice Samad passing over to Mastine, and there is a point, the first of the match for Quebec. Ellis passes over to Crowder, Graham Crowder. And he got pushed back over the center line, so that is a turnover in favor of Quebec. And Gagne will do the honors for his teammates. Gagne sends the ball in. Samad has the ball. Patrice Samad can't work his way through, so he's going to back out. Pass off to Mastine. Steve Mastine now trying to make his way around. He's got Gagne open, but it looks like he's just going to try to take it through himself. Gagne clears the path for him, and Mastine takes it in. Another goal for Quebec. It is now 2-0. And the Wildcats, again, just having a tough time getting any offense going. Adam Ellis now for the Wildcats goes behind Gagne. Nice moves there. Ellis passes down the floor, and Crowler is there for the Wildcats. Their first point of the game, 2-1. Simard. The pass out to Mastine. It's a loose ball, but Mastine is going to get there. Gagne cuts off Crowler to ensure that he doesn't interfere with his teammate. Another point for Quebec. And Ellis now taking the ball for the Wildcats. Dangerously close to that 12-second mark. And that ball is loose. It looks like Samara is going to try to pick it up, but that is a 12-second violation on the Wildcats. So Quebec is going to take the ball. 2 minutes gone by here in this first period. Quebec up 3-1 currently over the Northeast Passage Wildcats white team. Samad over the line. It's now 4-1 Quebec. Oh, and that's a loose ball and a turnover, another turnover for Northeast Passage. And Quebec looking to jump out early. They were already up 3. Mastine over to Simad, to Gagne. Gagne is just going to take it over the line nice and easy for another point. Quebec up 5-1. Crowler now trying to get over the line in time, and he does, but that ball off the back of Ellis, and that's going to go out of play in favor of Northeast Passage. Last touching someone from Quebec. And so Billy Buffard for the Wildcats. Going to send it in. Ellis with the ball. Ellis makes his way across the center line, trying to get past Simard, but that's going to be a tough task as Simard has a lot of speed. So Ellis now trying to get another point for his team. They're trailing by 4 at the moment. Ellis is going to make it through. Yes, he does. Another point for the Wildcats. It's now 5-2. Gagne over to Simard. And the pass down the floor, long pass. And Gagne is going to get that no problem. Oh, and it goes under his chair. Can somebody get there in time to force him potentially turn the ball over? And that is going to be a jump ball and the possession arrow in favor of Quebec. So Quebec will get the ball back, but Gagne lost possession of the ball and it rolled under his chair. So now the officials and trainer coming out to kind of help him out there, get the ball out from under the chair. This will be a throw-in for Quebec. And what is typically a fairly easy play was anything but that for Quebec and Dave Gagne. So now he will throw it in. And there's Mastine coming around behind all of the defenders for an easy point. 6-2 the score. Oh, and Buffard, kind of a careless pass there, but Ellis managed to recover. Crowler now for the Wildcats. And that is a 12-second violation on Northeast Passage once again. They had a lot of problems with this yesterday. And unfortunately for them, their troubles continue. Simard trying to work his way through, try to get around Buffard, and he does. It's 7-2. The scoreboard hasn't changed over, but I'm fairly sure the score is 7-2. We'll see what officially the score is, but that is another violation for Northeast Passage and a turnover. Quebec will take the ball as soon as we get some substitutions. Coming into the match for Quebec, number 10, Guillaume Bouchard, as well as number 11, Charles Arsenault. Mastine working his way in. There's a nice little collision there between Crowler and Mastine. Simard scores. Now the scoreboard says 7-2. Crowler trying to get through there, but he passes off to Perkins. And Perkins given a little bit of trouble there by Bouchard and Simard. And there's a lot of pressure on Simard right now. And we're going to get a foul on the play on Adam Ellis, illegal use of hands. And so he's going to go into the penalty area for a minute. Arsenault for Quebec passes into Mastine. And Mastine is just going to go ahead and hold up for just a moment. No pressure. And another point for Quebec. It's 8-2 in favor of Quebec at the moment. And again, Northeast Passage having all kinds of trouble moving the ball and generating some offense. So Crowler now making his way through. Is cut off by Simard, and the pass to Perkins. Perkins giving chase, but he's not going to get there in time. That is a turnover. Quebec will get the ball. 8-2 our score. Alcino passes over to Mastine. Crowler now giving chase, but Mastine just a little too fast. He generates good power on that first push, and that's often very crucial to outrunning an opponent. And we're going to have a stoppage in play for a moment. It looks like Mastine having a little issue with his tires there. Sometimes those tires come off the axle, the bolts that hold them in there kind of slide out a little bit, so you just want to make sure everything is in order. You don't want a tire falling off in the middle of action. So Ellis now, the pass into Buffard. Billy Buffard over to Crowler. Graham Crowler now working his way back up the floor for the Wildcats. Crowler dribbles, hit by Samad. Patrice Samad giving some pressure. Perkins cuts him off. Bouchard and Alcino now trying to double team. Mastine comes in. The pass over to Ellis. Now Adam Ellis for the Wildcats. Trying to make his way through. Buffard trying to set a pick for Ellis, but didn't quite work out. Ellis trying to work his way around Samad. Crowler coming in to try to help out Buffard. Also coming in to help out Ellis. Can he get around Mastine? Yes, he can. Also knows there, but not in time. Nicely done by Ellis. Good work. It is now 9-3 Quebec. But good job by Ellis there. Working his way around. Mastine looking to pass the ball out. No options. He's going to try to take it himself. He's got to hurry to get across the line, and he does. Mastine, the pass over to Alcino. And that is point number 10 for Quebec. 2 minutes left to go in the first quarter. Once again, Quebec leading by 7. And there's the ball over Crowler's head. Can he catch it before it goes out? Yes, he can. But that's going to be a 10-second violation. A turnover once again for the Wildcats, and Quebec will look to increase their lead here. Simard surrounded by Buffard, and Crowler passes it out to Mastine. Steve Mastine. Ellis trying to block him off. And Alcino trying to push Perkins out of the way, but can't clear enough space. And so now Mastine passes out to Simard. A minute 40 left to go in this first period. Simard still working his way around. Patrice Simard passes over to Mastine. Mastine gets himself over the line. That is another point for Quebec. Buffard. Oh, and the Wildcats collide, and Buffard throws it over his head to Crowler. Nicely done. Good pass that time, but it's stolen away by Mastine, and Samad picks it up for Quebec. Patrice Samad passes back to Mastine, and once again, those two combine to cause so much trouble for their opponents. It's 12-3, Quebec currently in the lead. Quite comfortably, I might add. And that ball, another turnover for Northeast Passage. Ellis entered the field of play but was knocked back out. Simard working his way around. Simard gets stopped by Crowler and Buffard, but Mastine takes the pass and another point. It's 13-3 Quebec over the Wildcats. 1 minute left to go in this first period. Crowler puts up another point for the Wildcats. 13-4 the score. 43 seconds left in the first quarter. Mastine, that one just a little too far in front of him. And something that we have seldom seen throughout the weekend so far, a turnover by Quebec. Buffard now for the Wildcats. Pops it in, but it's stolen by Mastine. And Steve Mastine will score again for Quebec. Now 14-4 the score. 30 seconds left to go. And yet another turnover for the Wildcats. And Samad will probably hold on here. He's got 40 seconds to score. There are only 20 seconds left on the game clock. So they're just going to hold for the final point. Samad scores. Just a few moments left here in the first session here. 15-4 the score. Ellis now with the ball. Ellis trying to get a point back for the Wildcats, trying to make his way around. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the end of the first period. We're going to take a break. When we come back, period number 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start the second period here. Quebec versus the Northeast Passage Wildcats white team. And so far, Quebec in complete control. It is 15-4 the score at the moment. For ParaSportsLive, I'm Tony Jackson. And we're just waiting for the clock to get set. And now we're ready to go. And Billy Buffard for the Wildcats. Passes into Crowler. Graham Crowler for the Wildcats. Making his way through. And Northeast Passage opens the scoring here in the second period. 15-5 the score. And there's a strip by Ellis. Nicely done. Adam Ellis. Good job by him. Brings the score to 15-6. Arsenault for Quebec. Crowther, nicely done to strip the ball away. Arsenault, the last to touch. Good defense. And a nice little run of momentum here for the Wildcats as they try to cut down on the lead a little bit. It's 15-6 the score right now. Crowther for Northeast Passage, trying to get through. Graham Crowther is going to make his way through and score another point for the Wildcats. It's now 15-7. That is 3 in a row for Northeast Passage. Let's see if they can build on this a little bit. Arsenault for Quebec. Nicely done by Crowther. Pass over to Gagne, who comes streaking down the line, and he's going to score a point for Quebec. That ends a 3-0 run for the Wildcats. They've closed the lead down a little bit. It's 16-7 currently in favor of Quebec. Ellis working down the floor. And another point for the Wildcats, 16-8. Arsenault over to Gagne. Buffard tries to pick him up, and he does. Nicely done, Billy Buffard, to stop Dave Gagne. That allowed Crowther to come over and pressure Gagne even more. Now Gagne in a little bit of trouble here. Guillaume Bouchard almost pushed over the line there. Buffard blocking. Gagne barely gets that one. And now he's surrounded by the NEP defenders, trying to work his way around. He has to dribble every 10 seconds to maintain possession. Ellis tries to stop him. Crowther, there's a pass over to Bouchard, and over the line goes Guillaume Bouchard for point number 17. Pretty good defense that time by the Wildcats, but again, this Quebec team is extremely strong. They move well and they pass well. Crowther trying to work around Gagne, looking for some help, and he bounces it off Gagne. That's going to be a throw-in for the Wildcats. Crowther now for the Wildcats. The pass down the floor to Ellis. And Adam Ellis puts up another for the Wildcats. 17-9. Gagne trying to work his way around. He drops the ball, but he puts it back in his lap, no problem. And there's Crowther to steal it away for Northeast Passage. Graham Crowther now trying to work his way through. Crowther almost lost the ball, and there he did. Crowther and Bouchard fighting for possession here. There's a scrum for the ball. Let's see who comes up with it. Everybody's trying to gather it. Ellis comes away with it. And so now Adam Ellis trying to add to the Wildcat point total, and he pushes his way through. Good strong move by Adam Ellis. It's now 17-10. Bouchard stolen away by Buffard, but it lands in the lap of Yannicka Lacoste, and we're going to get a timeout by Quebec as she was trapped by the Wildcat defenders. So nice heads-up play by Lacoste there as that ball just kind of found its way right to her. So while we're in a quick timeout, I just want to say once again, I want to thank everybody for watching this presentation of the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage here on ParaSportsLive. This is our very first live stream. We appreciate all of the feedback that we've been getting so far this weekend. We look to bring you more coverage of adaptive sports as we move forward. Now rejoining the action, Guillaume Bouchard is going to inbound the ball to Gagne for Quebec. And Gagne almost got tripped over. He was stuck on Bouchard for just a moment. Now he's free. The pass over to Bouchard, and he tries to punch pass it over to Asano, but he didn't really get a good handle on it, and so a turnover in favor of the Wildcats. Just under 5 minutes left to go before halftime. And Bouchard for Northeast Passage over to Ellis. Adam Ellis now trying to find his way through. Can he outrace Asano? Yes, he can. It is now 17-11. Northeast Passage trimming that lead little by little. Asano with the ball. Bouchard hooks him, and he's also trapped by Ellis. Asano in a little bit of trouble here. He passes the ball. Gagne bounces around. Gagne comes away with it. The pass out to Bouchard, and Ellis comes racing down the floor to try to stop Guillaume Bouchard. Bouchard to Asano. Nicely done. Good teamwork between Bouchard and Asano. 18-11 the score. Graham Crowther now for Northeast Passage, racing down the floor. Going to tally point number 12 for the Wildcats. Gagne stopped by Crowther. Bouchard double teaming. And we're going to get a jump ball, but the possession arrow points to Quebec. So we're going to get a throw in. And the Quebec bench is signaling for a substitution. It looks like Lacoste might be coming out. Let's see what happens here. And the official is trying to get everything sorted out at the scorer's table. So we are going to get a substitution. Alsano coming out. Mustine coming in. Simard also coming back in. Now Patrice Simard trying to get around the Wildcats defense. Guillaume Bouchard doing a nice job clearing a path for him. And now Simard just going to use that speed to race down the floor. And Simard did not dribble the ball within 10 seconds. And so that is a turnover. Good defense by the Wildcats, and a little bit of a mental mistake on the part of Simard. And so Graham Crowther now for the Wildcats, working his way around. Crowther going in to score. And now the score 18-13. Quebec still in the lead, but now only up by 5. Mustine back on the floor. The pass over to Simard. Simard is going to catch it before he goes over the line, and that was close, but he got there. 19-13 in favor of Quebec. Bouchard sends the ball back into Ellis. Adam Ellis being held by Simard, but the pass to Bouchard. Bouchard, can he grab the ball? Oh, he loses it. He couldn't quite get there. And Mustine comes racing in to try to take it away. And it looks like the ball is caught under Mustine's chair. And the way he's shaking his hand, he probably got it pinched in there somewhere. Possession arrow in favor of the Wildcats, so Bouchard will throw it in. Ellis taking the ball in for the Wildcats. Now Bouchard and Crowther both trying to clear a path for Ellis. Lacoste is there to try to stop him, and she does. So he's going to have to circle back out and try to figure another way through. 3 minutes left to go here before the half. Ellis having a hard time finding his way through. Perkins trying to clear a little bit of space for him. Not a lot of movement out here. Ellis is trying to find his way through somewhere. He doesn't have enough power to push his way through. Crowther there now blocking out Mastine. Ellis having a lot of trouble. 40 seconds is almost up. There's no shot clock, but you have to feel that they're close. They have to score in 40 seconds or they will turn the ball over. Ellis in a lot of trouble here. Ellis trying to push his way through. Can he get there? Yes, he does. And although there is no shot clock, you have to imagine that they were very close to running out of time. It is now 19-14. Good patience by Ellis, but you know, again, they need to figure out a way to maybe open up some more space in that Quebec defense. Bouchard now for Quebec. Makes it 20. 2 minutes left to go before half. Quebec lead by 6. We're trying to figure out who's going to throw the ball in. Yannicka Lacoste is there, but it looks like Mastine. No, excuse me. Somebody from the Wildcats is has to throw the ball in because it's their ball. I think everybody was a little confused there for a moment. Ellis now takes the ball for the Wildcats, and he will circle around, trying to get through the Quebec defense. Bouchard tries to stop him, and he does. Ellis now kind of trapped there, looking for someone to pass to. Crowther's there, and there's the pass over to him. Now Graham Crowther working his way through. Crowther makes it for a point. 20-15, the score. 1:26 left in the first half. Simard heading down the floor. Ellis is going to try to stop him, but he just passes right over to Mastine, who was on a free run down the floor. 21-15. Perkins looking to restart play for Northeast Passage. He pops the ball into Crowther. And now Graham Crowther heading down the floor. Mastine coming up to meet him, and he does. And there's a strip by Mastine, but he was the last to touch it, so the Wildcats will retain possession. Buffard pops it into Ellis. Nicely done. Adam Ellis trying to get it around Simard. He can't quite do it, so Buffard comes in to help out. 50 seconds to go in the half. Ellis trying to score another point for his team. Ellis works his way through, and he touches the cone, but he got 2 wheels over the line before he touched the cone, so that is a point for the Wildcats. (21-16) the score. Oh, nicely done by Crowther to stop Mastine, and that was a 10-second violation on Quebec. And so Buffard now will put the ball back in play for the Wildcats. Ellis will work his way around. 33 seconds to go. Now, that is a 4 in the key violation on Quebec, and so Mastine is going to sit in the penalty area probably for the rest of the half. There are 30 seconds left on the clock. And so the Wildcats are able to run the clock all the way down. Buffard with the ball over to Ellis. Ellis is trying to work his way around. He's just going to go in and hold for just a moment. He's got room now to score, and he does with 15 seconds left to go. Quick update on the other court. Montreal leading New York 26-21. They are in the final minute of the first half there. And there's Samad for Quebec. He's just going to hold up. He's got 8 seconds left. 7, 6, and Ellis pushes him over the line with 5 seconds to go. 22-17 the score. And Crowther's just going to hold on to the ball, and that will be the end of the half, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to end it right there. Quebec did a really nice job in the beginning to break open a lead with good defense and taking advantage of the Northeast Passage turnovers, but Wildcats have made a game of it. They're only down by 5. We're going to take a break. When we come back the second half, you're watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We are about to start the third period here. It's day 2 of the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage for ParaSportsLive. I am Tony Jackson, and Quebec lead the Northeast Passage Wildcats white team 22-17. And the Wildcats have managed to make a game of it. They were down pretty big early, but a couple good defensive stops converted into points for them, and they're able to keep it to within 5 at the moment. But this second half will start out with Quebec throwing in on the floor for Quebec. Mastin, Bouchard, Alcino, and Gagne. For the Wildcats, Perkins, Bouchard, Crowler, and Ellis. So now Charles Alcino. Oh, and that ball gets away from Gagne. Ellis picks it up for the Wildcats. And now Adam Ellis. Mastin trying to stop Ellis, and he does. Ellis trying to find his way around. He's got 40 seconds in total once again to get the ball over the line. And Ellis is free, almost lost the ball there. Oh, and he did now lose the ball. That is a turnover in favor of Quebec. Dave Gagne. Mastin with the ball. Back to Gagne. He's met by Crowler, and the pass over to Alcino, who will take it over the line. Oh, up by 6. Ellis looking for some options. He's trapped down there. Can he free himself? And he does. He's going to have to call a timeout, however. He was trapped back there pretty far and was held for quite a long time. So Ellis forced to call a timeout. And Bouchard will throw it in for the Wildcats. Crowler heading down the floor, trying to get around the Quebec defenders. Nice turn by Graham Crowler, and he makes his way through over the line for a point. Gagne trying to pass it over to Alcino, but Crowler putting that big hand up there. Now the pass to Mastin. Mastin takes it. Ellis trying to stop Mastin. The pass over to Alcino. That's going to get there. Alcino loses the ball. That pass might have been just a touch short. You saw Alcino had to reach over pretty far to get that one, and he couldn't control it. So the Wildcats with an opportunity to bring that ball off of Bouchard and out of bounds. The Northeast Passage Wildcats with an opportunity to bring the game a little closer. Ellis, pass to Crowler, nicely done, and that is point number 20 for the Wildcats. Mastin for Quebec. Bouchard setting a screen. Nicely done, Crowther. And Mastin just powers his way between Ellis and Crowther. Ellis now spins out of that corner and starts working his way back up the floor. He's got 12 seconds to get over the line. It's going to be close. He's trapped, but he's going to make his way around, and he had to call a timeout. I don't think he was going to make it before 12 seconds expired. So just to be on the safe side, Wildcats call a timeout to maintain possession. Just under 4 minutes left to go in the third period. Quebec leading 26-20. And on the other court, 6 minutes left to go in the third period over there. And it is a close one, ladies and gentlemen. Montreal leading New York 29-27. Crowther, the pass to Ellis. Ellis surrounded by defenders in blue. Let's see if he can work his way out of this one. He tries to pass it out to Perkins, who's all alone, but he can't really find the proper angle to do it. He doesn't want to just throw it over his shoulder, and he got it over there. But Mastin holds him off. Ellis working his way back around. Trying to get around Lacoste. He can't do it as Mastin just bumps into Lacoste to move her back. And you can tell they're just having a good time out here. .40 seconds winding down for the Wildcats. And Ellis, nice pick move there by Bouffard, but Mastin is there to stop Ellis again, and a block by Mastin. Ellis races to catch the ball, and he loses control of it. It's still in play though. Nice save by Adam Ellis. Good effort. And now he's got to get back over the line. Can Simard hold on to him? The pass over to Bouffard, and Bouffard passes it out, but didn't really look to where it was going, and it went to the other team. So now Steve Mastin for Quebec. The pass over to Lacoste, Yannicka Lacoste, and Bouffard meet up. Lacoste right into Bouffard's hands, and Bouffard passes to Ellis. Adam Ellis for the Wildcats. Pushing his way through, nicely done by Perkins to kind of help carve a path for him to get through the Quebec defense. Perkins holding off Mastin. Crowther trying to take on two defenders. So Ellis going to try to work his way through. Nice move, Adam Ellis. And that's going to be a point for Northeast Passage. It's 26-21. Quebec still in the lead. Simard going to follow Bouchard to the other end of the floor. 27-21 the score. 1:28 left to go in the third period. And we have a timeout called by Northeast Passage. And we're just going to keep it right here while the teams gather up to cool down just a moment. Quick update on the other floor. 4:50 left to go in the third period there. Montreal still up 32-28 on New York. They've increased that lead a little bit. It was a 4-point game a few moments ago. But again, Montreal bringing the lead back to 4. We've got more action for you in a little bit. New York and Northeast Passage Blue coming up in just a little bit. And then after that, the championship match. Who's going to be playing? That remains to be seen. But either way, we'll be bringing it to you around 1 p.m. Eastern here in the U.S. So if you're watching internationally, adjust your clocks accordingly. The referee trying to usher the players back onto the floor. The timeout is over. It is Northeast Passage ball. So Let's see who takes it in for the Wildcats. It's going to be Ashley Perkins. Perkins into Crowther. Graham Crowther. Kind of trapped there, but nicely done by Ellis and Buffard to try to carve out a space for him. And now Ellis racing to get to the ball. He gets it. Samar tried to cut him off, but he couldn't do it. Ellis now circles around. Ellis takes a dribble, and now he's trapped. Ellis over to Crowther. Graham Crowther now. Samad going to try to cut him off, and he does. Can Crowther push his way through? Buffard tries to open up that space, but he can't do it, so Crowther is going to have to reassess the situation and try to find another path. Samad racing toward the line, and he stops Crowther again. Nicely done, Patrice Samad. And Crowther having all kinds of trouble getting through, but he finally makes his way through. Well done. Samad for Quebec. 25 seconds left to go in the third, and Samad has to call a timeout. (27-22) the score. Buffard was right there. He couldn't back into the ball to disrupt that pass, so Mastine takes it for Quebec. Mastine racing down the floor. Crowther. Ellis try to stop Mastine, and he can't do it. And that is a point. Ellis went off the court, but that is a point for Quebec, 28-22, with 9 seconds left to go in the third. Ellis trying to work his way through. Ball stripped away, and now Bouchard. Can he score before the quarter is over? And he does. That point is going to count. 29-22. Nicely done by Guillaume Bouchard, and that is the end of the third period, folks. Let's see. Actually, the referees are going to put some time back on the clock here. One moment. Let's see. Nope, they have called time. There is 0 showing on the game clock. And now they're going to talk. Let's see what happens here. Players are coming off the floor. The referees are still discussing. I think the time had run out when Bouchard went over the line. So we're going to go ahead and go to break real quick. When we come back, we will go to the fourth and final period. You're watching Quebec, Northeast Passage Wildcats. It's the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. It's the fourth period about to begin here. This match Quebec versus Northeast Passage White for Parasports Live. I'm Tony Jackson. It's day 2 of the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. And Quebec started out pretty dominant early on. Northeast Passage made a little run there to end the first half and kept it close throughout the third period. And now we're entering the fourth and final period. Quebec up by 7. And on the other court, they're still in the third period there, but Montreal have increased their lead. They are now up by 7. That score with 2:45 left to go in the third period is 37-30. And here back on this court, Patrice Simard surrounded by defenders and his own teammate. The pass out to Gagne, however. Dave Gagne stopped by Arsenault. Ellis tries to get there, but he can't get to Arsenault in time. So Quebec going to take the ball. It's 30-22. Crowther trying to make his way through. He gets around Arsenault. Simad's there to try to disrupt him a little bit. Ellis with the ball. Crowther. Nice little screen there for Ellis. Ellis with the ball. Pressured by Gagne. Ellis dumps the ball off to Crowther. Simard tries to stop him from getting around. Buffard is there. Can Buffard back up? And that, ladies and gentlemen, a 10-second violation. I believe that was the call. And so a turnover for Northeast Passage. Gagne looking for Arsenault. Charles Arsenault. Ellis coming in, racing in to try to take him out, but he can't get there in time. You don't want to hit him behind the axle because then you might end up spinning your opponent, and that is most certainly a foul. So Quebec bringing their lead back up to 9. It's 31-22. Perkins back to Buffard. Buffard to Crowther. Graham Crowther now trying to get around Gagne. And Crowther has to call a timeout. Billy Buffard, the ball tipped by Simard, and that's going to be a turnover in favor of Quebec. So now Simard trying to work his way around, gets stopped by Ellis, the pass over to Gagne, and now Ellis and Crowther surrounding Gagne. He passes over to Simard. Perkins is going to try to clear out Lacoste, but Simard took advantage of the moment and got around for a point. It's 32-22. Quebec now up by 10. Crowther racing down the floor to Simard, trying to stop him, and he does. Crowther trying to work his way around. Not much space to do so, however. He's going to pass it off to Ellis. Nicely done. Good job by Ellis to break free, and good job by Crowther to find him. 32-23 the score. A little under 6 minutes left to go here in the match. Arsenault over to Simard. Ellis coming over, but he's just going to let Simard go through. 33-23 the score on the other side. 57 seconds left to go in the third period. Montreal 38, New York 34. Crowther gets around Gagne. He couldn't push there fast enough. And now Lacoste and Simard cut off Crowther. Arsenault. Now the Quebec defenders surround Ellis. Ellis can't pass it back. Oh, he almost loses the ball. And now a little soft pass over to Crowther. He's going to try to get his way around Lacoste, and he does. Bouffard cuts off Gagne. Ellis now with the ball. Adam Ellis working his way around. Simard, very good defense there. Gagne putting on a lot of pressure right now. Ellis in some trouble here. Can he break free? Yes, he can. The pass over to Crowther. And it's now 33-24 in favor of Quebec. 4:27 left to go in the match. Quebec up by 9. Simard makes his way through. Ellis passes the ball. It's picked up by Simard, however. Nice defense, Patrice Simard. And Quebec going to increase their lead to 11 now. 35-24 the score. 3:50 left to go in the match. And it looks like we've got a timeout and some substitutions on the docket. Quebec going to make some changes here. It looks like Bouchard is going to make a return into the match. Northeast Passage doesn't have any substitutions, so all 4 of their players are going to have to stay on, but they're going to have to take a moment to cool down. Got the big fans in here. It is a little warm in the Hamel Recreation Center this morning. We're up on the 3rd floor of the building, and it's an older building, so heat kind of gets trapped up here sometimes, and it does get a little warm for the athletes. So we do take timeouts every once in a while to allow them to hydrate and spray themselves off and cool down a little bit. On the floor behind us, they're in between periods, getting ready to enter the 4th. The score is 39-35 in favor of Montreal. And in our match, we have about 3:50 left to go. 35-24 the score in favor of Quebec. And with the way things are going right now, you have to imagine that we will see this Quebec team in the final. Again, that coming up at approximately 1 p.m. Eastern Time. So no matter where you're watching this live stream, first of all, thank you. Second of all, be sure to tune in for that match, because whoever is in the final, it promises to be a good contest. So Bouffard now for the Wildcats inbounds the ball. And Crowther trying to work his way around the Quebec defense. He passes over to Ellis. Adam Ellis will take the ball and score another point for the Wildcats, 35-25. Simard, the pass to Arsenault. 3:20 left to go in the match. Quebec still in the lead quite comfortably. They've led the entire match. Again, Northeast Passage cut the lead down to 5, but they couldn't get any closer. Perkins trying to get down the floor, and Mastine, they're trying to take the ball away, and a timeout And that is going to be a turnover because Perkins couldn't get over the line completely. And so Quebec going to take the ball. 3:06 left to go. Mastin for Quebec. The pass to Samad. And those two work so well together. You can really see when those two are on the floor, this team is extremely hard to stop. Crowler with the ball. Works his way out of that corner. Perkins picks off Simad. Buffard with the ball. Oh, and he loses it off of his hands. And the scorekeeper over here trying to save the ball. A valiant effort by the scorekeeper. Unfortunately, couldn't quite make it. But he looks like he's okay. Everything and everybody is all in order once again. 2:37 left to go in this match. Quebec 37. Northeast Passage 25. Mastin over to Alcino. Ellis tries to stop him, but he can't before Alcino goes over the line. In Quebec, now up by 13. Crowther's very close to going over the line. He needs to pass the ball out, and he does over to Ellis. Ellis either needs to call a timeout or hurry to get over the center line. Buffard is there, and he just tips it over the line. Let's see who touched that last. Simard was the last to touch it. He keeps it in play. Now the pass back to Mastin. Good job by Simard to keep the action going. Mastin racing Ellis, trying to get there too, but didn't have a good angle to cut him off. So Mastin is going to score another point. 39-25 the score. Ellis with the ball, almost lost it there. Mastin nearly took it away. Ellis passing over to Crowler, but that one just a little too far in front. He's going to be able to catch up to it, however. Graham Crowler just collides right into Mastin, and Mastin strips it away. 1:20 left to go in the match. The Wildcats looking for point 26. They're going to throw it in. Let's see if they can score. Ellis facing down the Quebec defenders. Gets closed off, and so he circles around. Perkins trying to open up a little space for him. Buffard is going to open up that spot right behind Alcino. Nicely done. 1 minute left to go in the match. 39-26 our score. And there is Mastin. He's going to put up another point. And Quebec have reached the 40 mark. 51 seconds to go. They're up 40-26. Ellis just taking his time here. Ellis trying to find his way through, but can't do it. Alcino trying to cut him off, and he does. Good job. Ellis makes his way through. 40-27, 26 seconds left in the match. And let's see if Quebec just holds on to the ball for the rest of the time. Oh, and they're actually going to turn it over. Mostine couldn't reach that ball. Crowther cut him off. And so now Buffard for the Wildcats. We're going to try to hold on for one more point. Ellis just holds his chair for just a moment. 8 seconds left, and he scores. 7 seconds left in the match. It's 40-28. Osano sends it in. Mostine. Is he going to try for one more? He's got 5 seconds to get across the line. Simad racing towards the line. 1 second, and he got there just in time. And that point is going to count, ladies and gentlemen. Patrice Simard, just a rocket down that far side, scored the final point of the match. And we're going to end this one 41-28. We're going to go to break. And when we come back, the next match, New York Warriors versus the NEP Wildcats blue team. And then the championship match to follow. You're watching the 2017 Kennebunk Savings Rugby Rampage. We'll be back in a little bit.